set up correctly on my phone. I was going to do the flip thing like I did last time, but honestly, I kind of have to stand to do that. I guess I could do it sitting down, but I stood to do that and it hurt my back after a while. So I decided not this time. So anyway, welcome back to my channel. It is a very cold day in New Jersey. It's a perfect day to sit inside and look at patterns all day, which is basically what I did all morning. So in the last video, I talked about more Goodwill patterns I found. I also had done a Facebook Marketplace purchase. I don't know why. I'm so backlogged with patterns that I need to count and put up on Etsy that are cut patterns. I don't know why I keep buying patterns, but these were a great deal. She wanted like 20 bucks. It ended up being 49 patterns. With the shipping, it came to $38. And they're really cool patterns. So, you know what? I'm thinking, why don't we just start with them? Because they are such unusual patterns. All right. So when we start, let's talk about these. These are non-pattern items that came with this lot. But I thought, I can definitely sell them. And it's just a whole series of Aunt Martha. So I'll just show you which Aunt Marthas they are. Sunbonnet Sue. And it's funny, I used to do embroidery, but I don't anymore because after I had cancer, the little bones in my hands hurt a lot of the time, especially when it's cold like this. I couldn't do needlepoint anymore or cross stitch or any of it, really. I mean, honestly, some days it's so hard for me because I'm getting older just to thread the needle on the sewing machine that might end up being the reason I stopped sewing. It's just that. I don't know if anybody else is having that problem. It's tough because I'm a Gen Xer, right? So we don't do anything laying down, right? Everything's got to be like, whatever, I can do it. Which is stupid because we can't do everything, right? All right, so this is part of the next lot of patterns I'm going to show you. This company was a company that was around in the 90s. And I remember, here's their little symbol. Some of you might actually remember this little logo. If I remember correctly, it was like a club and they sent you patterns every month. And all of the patterns were sized like 6 to 22. So this woman sold me her mother's, and they came with these binders. And they came with cards that you needed. Instead of these patterns having directions inside, I'll show you the very first one. You can see, and see how it lists category and which cards you need and blah, 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 blah. So these are uncut and still folded. Her mother never made any of these patterns. Now, I can tell you from experience, these were pretty cool patterns. I personally didn't have them, but I know someone who did. In fact, I think it was her mother actually that had them, and then she ended up getting them too. And they were, it's funny because they look very dated now, but honestly, some of these patterns, these dresses and things, you could still absolutely wear them. You could modernize them. Like, here's a perfect example. This is a t-shirt dress, right? But see the black one? Like, nobody's going to wear this now. That looks so 90s. But see this navy one down here? You could totally get away with that. It has shoulder pads, but you don't have to put the shoulder pads in. Here's a shirt dress. I'm actually thinking about keeping this one because it's just a basic shirt dress pattern. And this is a shirt dress that it only has the buttons on the top, not on the bottom, which is more in line with like the 1940s shirt dresses. And a jumper or a pinafore, depending on who you talk to. So those are the dress patterns. And they all conveniently came in these boxes that you could put them in their categories, right? So some of these are so 90s. Like, I look at this is so 90s. Yeah. But it's all coming back like these. Everything's coming back, right? So here's the tapered pants. Here's pants or walking shorts. These are actually really nice trousers. maybe I'll just keep all of these, right? And I'll just destash everything else. This I'm seriously thinking about keeping because I don't really like pencil skirts. They're a bit too tight for me. I feel like they're like a little more appropriate for younger women. But I like a straight skirt. So, okay, so this is interesting. This is all the miscellaneous stuff. So they had patterns like this too. So you could make a cape or a rain cape or whatever. They have a raglan sleeve coat. The funny thing is that long coat, I had a raincoat that looked just like that. Here's the raglan, another raglan sleeve garment. So this is shirts and coats. A stadium jacket. A cardigan jacket, which I think is an interesting name because I would have called this a collarless jacket or a cropped jacket because there's a cropped one. Blazers and vests, because it wouldn't be the 90s if we didn't have a damn vest in it somewhere, right? Because we loved a vest back then. I think that's why no one wears vests now, because we wore out the vest thing back in the 80s and 90s. And a tailored jacket. This is actually a very nice jacket. It's a shawl collar. Or is it a notched? Oh, I see. It's a choice of notched or shawl collar. So you can do the notched collar or you can do the shawl collar. Again, I'm thinking, maybe I'll just keep all these. They all go to 22, so they're all the largest size is my size. Here's another one, the blouse pattern. It's a really nice blouse pattern, really basic. Don't love this so much. This is a bit much for me, the Romeo blouse. I did look some of these up on Etsy, and they retail for anywhere from about $8 to $10, depending on which pattern it is. So maybe I'll go through and I'll decide which ones I can't live without and which ones I'm going to get rid of. Like this is a perfect example. I wouldn't keep this. These are these oversized blouses from the 90s. We really had a love of vests and enormous clothing in the 90s. I don't know why, but suits, everything was huge, just absolutely huge. Oh, this was a really interesting pattern. It's for making lingerie, which I thought was cool, but I cannot even imagine making my own bra. Like, I just can't. Here's one that's specifically for stretch knit garments. Again, if you'd like some double knit polyester, call me. I got it. This was cute. It just says summer outfits. I thought this was kind of sweet. It's just like pull-on pants and stuff like that. And maternity. This is, I'm definitely going to sell this. This is a great pattern. If you sew and you're pregnant, this is like a whole wardrobe right in one pattern. The sweatsuit, right? Oh, remember when we used to cuff our sweatsuits on the bottom? And then the culotte ensemble, very French. Very, very French, which is also kind of cute. It's got the big like sway jacket. That was another thing. I remember the sway jackets were really popular. I don't know how many of you out there are as old as me and remember, but the jackets were like, they had all this extra room on the bottom. It was like a thing. So that was that lot. In it, she also had a couple of regular patterns. Let me show those to you now. These are all uncut and factory folded. It really did end up being a good deal. Oh, look at this pattern. Never used. Really, really nice. This one, really basic shirt. And then, of course, Christmas patterns. In fact, I think I just sold the other two that belong to this set, and now I have another one. Yeah. Another Christmas pattern. These don't have line drawings on the back. That's why I'm not showing the line drawings. This one's interesting. This isn't a sewing pattern. This shows you how to crochet these little ornaments, which is kind of cool. I don't crochet anymore either. Same reason. It kind of hurts my hands. And then Vogue. And then we have this here. Those are the line drawings. I am so sorry I won't be able to do live chat, guys. I saw somebody just put something up there. I'm not going to be able to do live chat because it's this whole weird thing. When you do it on your phone, you have to like grab the phone, and it's too much. I need a second person to really do live chat. But hi, thanks for joining us. Okay, so I've already started going through the cut patterns, and give me 1 minute. Thirsty. Going through the cut patterns, taking a look at them, seeing what I can salvage, seeing what is difficult. So I'm going to show you the cut patterns I haven't gotten to. Then I'm going to do the cut patterns I have. We'll talk a little bit about them. And oh, see right on top, I have one that is coming apart. See, I had a lot of this. See, I had a lot of this where it's like hanging out. Hi, welcome. And so I'm going to have to go and look at this, count the pieces, make sure they're all there. By the way, she had a ton of Vogue. Whoever the woman was who got her stuff donated to Goodwill, we're now into the Goodwill patterns, by the way. She had a ton of Vogue. And I'm really sure that she was a home ec teacher, because a lot of these patterns have people's names on them. They have little notes on them. And they're also like kind of, I don't want to say younger, but they're younger. Like, well, this is actually a children's pattern, but you know, they're just kind of younger in general. A lot of them are easy patterns. A lot of them are like, you know, make it in an hour and things like that. So yeah, oh, and here's the number. Here's the number for this McCall's, if anybody is curious. Welcome, welcome. The crochet pattern, I already took a picture of it. I'm going to put it up on Etsy tonight, so it'll be on my Etsy page. I'll put the link below when I get done filming. I just wanted to show the patterns to you guys before I put them on Etsy. It was really bright and sunny here today, so I photograph all the patterns when it's really nice and sunny outside, and then at night when it's dark and it's not as great to photograph the patterns, I sit and I put them on Etsy. So it's actually pretty time consuming. This is so cute, by the way. This is a romper. How cute is that? So, all right, this pattern feels like there's nothing in it, and I've already found this same pattern uncut. But this is what I mean about her being a home ec teacher. I found multiple of different patterns, including this one here, which that's the cut one that I found in the last Goodwill haul. So I'm going to keep that because I found an uncut one in this haul. Most of these patterns, by the way, span early 60s till mid 70s. Lots of dress patterns, lots of skirt patterns. I mean, granted, that was also what was around. Here's a Jiffy pattern for children. Oh, this is a romper too. I just realized that. I thought this was dress. It's not. It's like a little jumpsuit romper thing. And that, oh, she had a lot of evening wear too, which I thought was kind of unusual, but also made me think she's a home ec teacher. And then, oh yeah, and she had this one. This is so odd, but so cool. I got to go through this because it's all the little pets, and it's definitely vintage, and it's Vogue. She had a lot of Vogue. God bless her. She had a lot of Vogue. So, in fact, you know what? Let's look at some of the Vogue now. So those are all the cut patterns that I haven't counted yet. So now let's take a look at the stuff that I have gone through, and that some of these are already up on Etsy, like this Vogue. Vogues, for me personally, Vogues sell very well for me. So when I get a Vogue, it goes up on Etsy immediately because it'll usually sell in no time. In fact, it was a couple pattern hauls back. There was a Vogue wedding dress by Vera Wang. And I think it was the last live stream I did, maybe the one before that. And that one, look at this. By the way, can we just look at this? This, I just have to say, it's a lamb then. Amazing. Oh, and this one came with this, the Vogue Couture tag. Back in the old days, you would buy these designer large format Vogues and you could go to the counter and give you a little tag to sew into your dress so that you were wearing a Vogue dress, basically. And this one had one in it. So I was over the moon because I can actually charge a lot of money for this. You know, every little bit helps. Anyway, back to the Vogue wedding dress. It sold on almost immediately, which I wasn't surprised because it was Vera Wang. So, you know. So those are the large format Vogues. And now we have a couple of beautiful McCalls. Just stunning, right? And yeah, here's another reason can you see this? Another reason I think she was a home ec teacher. You can see the alteration that she's talking about. Like she's saying, we can widen the skirt. And this next one, guys, tell me, have you seen Barbara Streisand wearing this? Because I swear I've seen Barbara Streisand wearing this. Like an old picture of Barbara Streisand where she's wearing this dress right here. Oh, and I love this. Look at how pretty that is. So mod, so gorgeous. And this was apparently a pretty simple dress. It only has like 7 pieces. So, but I love it. I love this one with like the zipper. Okay. Let me just grab some more. There's a bunch of patterns in front of me. Oh, sorry, I lied. I put this one in plastic. I can't remember why I put this one in plastic. Sometimes I put them in plastic just because the envelope is in bad shape, which is a possibility of why I did this. Oh, let me put them back. I'll take them out of the envelopes. If this was in my size, I would think about keeping that. I really think this is, look how cute that skirt is. Oh, sorry, guys. How cute that skirt is, right? And then the one, this next pattern. When I saw this next pattern, it was actually on top of one of the bags, and I was like, oh yeah, I better buy that. It is literally called a muumuu. The back name, the description on the back, they call this a muumuu. And I just thought that was great. And I'm sure this will sell very quickly. Being a muumuu and all. Not to mention being a house coat, right? The sale of house coats during the COVID lockdown must have gone through the roof. Oh, this one I love. Okay, they're calling these gauchos. But look at those pants. And when I was looking at the pattern to make sure all the pieces were there, they were still factory folded. But you could see like the pants piece was like this wide. I was like, yeah, that's so cool. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the video. I think it's really fun to look at these. I know it's weird, but I actually watch other people's, you know, pattern haul videos too. What can I say about this? Look at this dress. It's the coat and the dress. That's the line drawing. But look at that coat. Oh my God. I love it. It's so beautiful. So gorgeous. And of course, you know, what haul would be complete without some men's patterns? There we go. This is a pattern for ties and ascots of all things, which is kind of funny to me because, well, I guess if you had some leftover fabric, you could do like a matching tie for your husband or something. But, you know, I'd just go buy a tie. I'm not sure I would spend the time to actually sew a tie. This is also another easy jiffy pattern. I love that it's a mini skirt. Takes me back to the 70s when my sister was a teenager. My sister's like 11 years older than me. So while I grew up more in the 80s, she grew up more in the 70s and 60s. And then our cousins are older and they grew up in the 50s and 60s. So, by the way, I don't know if you guys can see, this is a wrap dress. It's so pretty, isn't it? It reminds me of Lily Pulitzer. And then, you know, we had a fair amount of children's patterns in here. Even though she looks very adult, doesn't she? It says girls pattern. Oh, and then, wow. And tell me this does not look like Cloris Leachman, right? From the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Recently deceased, Cloris Leachman. Very sad. Sure, she's laughing with Betty White right now. Oh, and this, look at this. It's a bit Austin Powers, but it is really cool. It's a shame this is all messed up. And this, I love this. This pattern reminded me of my mom. This is so like what my mom would have worn in the 70s. She was a school teacher, and this was just the kind of thing that she would have worn in the 70s. We have some more Jiffy children's patterns. Very cool, very hip children in their bell bottoms. All the little girls look so adult though. It's strange to me how adult they look, but and then like this one, perfect example. Look at this little girl. Look at this one. Doesn't she look like she's going to be, like she's going to make a guest appearance on Maude at some point in time, like with B. Arthur? I mean, she's got like a hat, and the other one's got some weird thing going on with some headband thing. The little girls look very, very mature. Oh, okay. Remember I said that I had this uncut? Here's the uncut version. Again, this is why I think it's a home ec teacher. A lot of young kind of clothing, right? And that's cool. I think, because of some of the Vogue patterns she has, I wonder if on the side she did sewing for other people for extra money, which I'm sure she did. This is another cute wrap skirt that is just so cute. And I love that it's in a maxi. There's the line drawings. And look, remember when we wore knee socks, right? Yeah, I mean, and who knows, maybe she just did Vogue for herself because she could. I think sewing is a very creative outlet. I know some people, I'm sure, don't see it that way. I personally do. I think sewing is an amazing outlet for women. Okay, so these next couple of patterns are cut, but they're in great shape. And I counted the pieces today. Oh, one just hit the floor. I'll have to grab that. It's so pretty. Oh, which one hit the floor? Oh, no. All right, I'll have to grab that one in a minute. This one is only partially cut. Only the blouse was ever made. The vest, the pants, the shorts, all of it, uncut. Oh, and then these were really interesting. These are Vogue. Sorry, let me take them out of these have their envelopes are in really bad shape, but you guys can still take a look. They're Vogue Maternity, which I have to be honest, I can't remember if I've seen Vogue Maternity recently. I mean, maybe one of you guys can remember, or one of you has been pregnant recently, but I don't remember Vogue Maternity. But I mean, I'm sure everybody's in maternity, but I don't know. I just never remember Vogue Maternity. This is another maternity. This is another partially cut pattern. This absolutely stunning jacket is completely uncut. And this was a pre-cut pattern. So the pieces are just absolutely pristine because no one even had to like cut other pattern pieces around those pieces. If you don't know what a pre-cut pattern is, there was a time, it seems to be in the like 60s, early 70s, where you could buy patterns that were already cut so that you didn't have to like lay it all out and go through and find the pieces you want. You just had to find the piece. They were already cut and they were all folded together. I don't know why they don't do this anymore. It's probably an issue of money. Let me just stop for 1 minute and say, how fabulous is this whole mod suit here? Right? I was like, damn. Yeah, I would have loved to have owned that back in the day. So pre-cut patterns, the great thing about them is because someone didn't have to get like one piece off of, another view they weren't going to use, they're in really great shape because the person just had to unfold them and find the one piece that they needed for the view they were making, or the pieces they needed for the view that they were making. And then they could fold all the ones they weren't going to use back up and put them away. And they got maintained better because of that. It's a really nice thing. Let me just grab these real quick. Oh, if I can. Okay, so now we're going to talk, we're going to talk about what I call wounded birds. Now, wounded birds are patterns that are way too fabulous to just trash, right? But they have issues. So here's case in point. Here's a perfect one. This is missing this beautiful Joffrey bean pattern is missing the neck facing for up here. And it's missing, what is the other facing? Hem facing. Now the interesting thing is both the neck facing piece and the hem facing piece there's another piece that goes with them. So there's technically two neck facing pieces, two hem facing pieces. So this pattern, an experienced sewer would just use those identical pieces instead of the missing pieces. But it's interesting because I have to figure out how to price things like this because they're not complete. So that's the issue. Here's another example. This, let me see if I'm looking at my notes real quick. Oh, okay. This beautiful, yeah, that's another thing. They can easily be drafted. Like you can actually look at the piece that, like a facing piece, and you can just really go over the actual piece you're going to be facing and just take that portion, right? But that was the weird thing. Like it's missing piece number 7, which is the left neck facing piece. Piece number 6 is the right neck facing piece. So, right, an experienced sewer. This is so cute. I mean, look at how adorable this is. This is missing only the bloomers. Everything else is here. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's not the bloomers on this one. No, we have the bloomer. This one, oh, I know what it was. This one is missing the nightgown. The nightgown. But if you look closely, the robe looks exactly like the nightgown. So you could just use the robe pieces, right? Really, really cute too. Like, so cute. Baby dolls. This one, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. This one's so cute. But it's missing a front piece for the dress. Again, there's another front piece for the dress that's basically exactly the same. The back piece is there. The back piece, you cut on the fold. So, you know, it's the problem with the wounded birds is like someone who's a more advanced sewer, no problem. You know, here's another one. This one, the dress is cut. It's got all the pieces and it's partially cut. The jacket has never, ever been made, but the length, the piece where you lengthen or shorten the skirt, the person cut it. It's fine. She folded it up. She put it in here. It's still kind of a wounded bird though, because of that. It's also, I don't know what this is. It looks like oil, you know? Yeah, you know, it's funny. I've seen Stephanie Canada's videos where she talks about that. She even knows of a place. I thought this was strange where you can send patterns that are not politically correct. I'm very on the fence about this. Like I've showed you guys the pattern that I had. It was a while back. It was a costume pattern and part of it was Santa Claus, but there was like a Chinaman part of the costume and it was kind of offensive, you know. But then I looked at it and it was kind of like they look a lot like the pajamas that were popular, that were called Chinese pajamas. You know, it's a tough call. Here's another one, another favorite of my wounded birds. This one is really cool. So the only thing missing from here was the transfers. You see on the bottom, it says that there's transfers included. The transfers have been used. And the pants. The whole rest of the pattern is not only in there, but it's factory folded. This beautiful nightgown and these two tops, if you look closely, you guys can see, aren't the tops beautiful? I mean, honestly, you could wear the tops out, right? The only thing missing from this pattern is the pants. which is kind of sad, right? It is super nice, isn't it? I thought this was such a pretty pattern. Unfortunately, most of these aren't my size, or I'd have a much bigger pattern collection than I already have, if any of these were my size. Here's another wounded bird. This is completely folded. It's never been used. It has no directions, but it still has the transfers. All of these, these like toaster covers and everything, the transfers are still in here. This one is a tough call for me because can you guys see that apron over there? That is what is typically known, well, as what my family calls a canning apron, and I do can. And to have something like that to wear when I'm canning in the summer, maybe. I'm really on an apron kick lately. If anybody watches my channel, I've been kind of on an apron kick lately. Here's another hilarious wounded bird that was part of this set. This pattern has no directions, but it's got all of the pieces for the doll. Here's the doll and the doll's clothes. Just no directions. In fact, I'll show them to you because it's kind of funny. I mean, look at this. It's never been opened. It's still factory folded, right? But what do you do with it? Now, granted, anybody who does doll making, they're going to look at these pieces and immediately know how to put them together. So they'll go up on Etsy. Usually what I do with patterns like this on Etsy, like the wounded birds, is I go in and I see how much this pattern would cost if it was complete, factory folded, never used, and someone was selling it. And then I look at it. I try and find a cut version of the pattern, see if somebody's selling it. Are they doing it half price? Are they doing it, normally if I can't find someone selling the cut version of a pattern, I will look at the full price version and I'll take like 75% off of it if it's a wounded bird. Here's another wounded bird. The only piece in there is the jacket. But it's completely uncut. They apparently, whoever just made the tank tops, they never made the jacket. So all the jacket pieces are in there and it doesn't have directions. But just looking at the jacket pieces, I could assemble the jacket. And you know how much trouble I have with patterns and especially directions. So here's another one. This is so cute. Okay. How cute is that, right? It doesn't have the bloomers. So it's kind of, there's the number, guys. It doesn't have the bloomers. See how it's got these bloomers? They're missing. They're the only two pieces missing from this pattern are the bloomers. So again, like someone said earlier, was it Marie? Somebody said it. I don't know if it was Marie. Somebody said you can draft that. Yeah. And honestly, the younger girls kind of wear stuff like this now. And I don't know that they actually wear the bloomers anymore. I think they wear more like bike pants, like a tighter bike pant. Oh, and this is so cute. I can't remember what this is missing. This is missing a couple pieces. And I just put it to the side because honestly, when I get something like this doesn't have a lot of pieces. It only has 7 pieces. Yeah, 7 pieces. And there's one piece missing. The chances that I can find the missing piece are really good. Over here, where you guys can't see, I have all of the pieces of patterns that were shoved into the wrong envelope. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like I've seen young girls get on in like the tennis outfits, kind of, but they're not wearing them for tennis. And they just have the bike shorts on. They don't wear the bloomers, so they wouldn't care if they were making that pattern. Anyway, back to this pattern. This pattern, there's a good chance that I'll find the piece. Because over here, where you guys can't see, I have a bunch of pattern pieces. I'm not showing them to you guys because I don't even know what they make. I don't even have a picture because they are just pieces that were shoved into the wrong envelopes. When I'm counting pattern pieces, this happens to me a lot. I find pieces that do not belong to the pattern that they are shoved into. In fact, one of the patterns back here, I can't remember which one it was. There was a pocket piece, but the particular garment, it was like a skirt, I think. It might have been that wrap skirt that I said I liked. doesn't have pockets, but someone had shoved a pocket pattern piece from some other unknown pattern, which by the way is not in here. It's like Simplicity 1109, not in here anywhere. So I put it to the side over there. And yeah, you know what? I probably could find those envelopes on Amazon. I also, the funny thing is, I'm sorry, I missed the question about the doll. I'll answer it when I just saw it as you guys were kind of going away. I'll answer it though when I get a chance. Um, Over here, I have these pattern pieces. And the funny thing is they don't match any of the patterns I have here. And there's something really weird about one of the patterns over here. And that's why I'm assuming, and by the way, this is why I think she's a home economics teacher. They did a permanent alteration. She didn't use the bust darts, and she had the student instead do a fold across the bodice piece and sew it through the, the tissue, which I've never seen. And it's really fine. And I'm like, I'm not going to unpick this. I'll sell this as is. If someone wants to unpick it, they can unpick it themselves, because I don't know if the pattern pieces would actually make it through. There's also a pair of pants, which again, no envelope, just the pants pieces. And they added 3/4 of an inch. And she wrote on the piece of paper that they put between, they taped it to the pants piece. She wrote 3/4 inch. So I know how much she added to this pattern. So those, I don't know what I'm going to do with those. I have a little, it's actually a Ziploc bag, and I keep what I call I call them strays, when you just have an unknown pattern piece that just shows up and is just doesn't belong to the pattern envelope it's in, and you don't have the pattern envelope, and you maybe only have that one piece. So I keep them together as strays, and I don't know, maybe someday I can Frankenstein a garment out of all of the strays. And then we're going to get to my last piece, which is like Beyond a Wounded Bird. I call these ephemera pieces because the only thing I could probably ever sell them as is ephemera. So here's this cute little Vogue skirt. It has a sash. Guess which piece is the only piece in this pattern? Yes, you guessed it, the sash. But and the directions are in here. I guess I could sell it for the directions, maybe. Who knows? But it's funny to me because it's like such cool graphics, and I think, well, at some point in time, I'm going to take all these patterns that I have like this, and I'm going to sell them on Etsy as ephemera, because what else can you do with them? But they're so cool looking. Maybe somebody can use them for like junk journaling or something like that. Maria, I completely missed that comment because I was talking and I didn't get to read it in time. But I will answer all your comments when I'm done this video. And that is it for today. So I thought this was a great haul. I'm very happy with the haul that I did on Facebook. I really do. This whole line was really cool. I remember it. I remember that I think, it's hard to remember the 90s, but, oh yeah, she gave you like 50 patterns, right? And they're strays. Oh, speaking of cutting up pieces of paper. Anyway, these, let me finish my thought on these. I think that there was a PBS show and they actually showed you how to use these, but I can't remember. So in one of the patterns I found, not the pattern pieces, but this. Okay, did anybody else have a mom who did this? My grandmother used to do this, by the way. In fact, I think most of her patterns ended up like this. By the way, it's also absolutely crazy to look at the prices of these things. Like, it's really like hysterical. I don't know who this is, which store this is from either. But you could get, oh wait, can you get an aluminum Christmas tree from them? Oh, I can't see. Look there, guys, they're advertising the now famous aluminum Christmas tree, right? But I can't see what the price was. It looks like a 1. So my grandmother used to do this. In fact, I really think the bulk of her patterns were, she had bought one pattern and then she just did the rest of them on newspaper. Here's another piece of whatever pattern this was. Again, I pulled these out of a pattern that wasn't missing pieces, so I'm not really sure what this was all about. Christmas towel sale. Oh, and wow, wait, look at this. Men's suits, $29.95. This must be very old. And a frying chicken, 5 pounds, was $1.70. $1.79. These prices take you back, don't they? Because let me tell you, this is amazing. A custom-made Christmas arrangement from the floral department was 98 cents. Chocolates were $1.09. It's kind of amazing to look at this. Oh, wait. Here's an ad for sewing machines. So let's see. Repossessed sewing machine sale. Can you guys see that right there? 65, how much? $65. Wow. A gear-driven singer that's been repossessed will only cost you $70. Wow. This is amazing. It's amazing to look at this. So yeah, this was really interesting. This was one of my favorite finds, actually. My other favorite find was this person had wrapped up some small pieces of, I think it was the Vogue dress with the jacket. And she had wrapped it up in this. And now I'm obsessed with finding this fabric. I don't know if you guys can even see this. Can you see that? I'm obsessed with this fabric now. I now want a blouse made out of this fabric because it's so nice. It's a cotton. You can feel it. It's that really nice kind of, it's not a broadcloth. It's not that tight of a weave, but it's so pretty. So that's it for today. It wasn't too bad. I'm under 45 minutes. That's amazing for me. Until my next video, which, I don't know when my next video is going to be Tuesday. Tomorrow I'm supposed to be going to brunch. Until my next video, like, subscribe. I'm going to answer all your comments when I get off of my phone and go over to the actual YouTube on my computer. I'm going to be able to read your comments and answer them all. And I'm going to upload some other stuff. And thank you for stopping by, Maria. And everybody else for stopping by. Thank you so much. Sorry, Marie, not Maria. Thank you to everyone for stopping by. I love doing this. I know it's a strange thing because I said to my friend the other day that I told her I was watching a pattern unboxing and she was like, what is that? I'm like, oh, people just show you the patterns they bought. She kind of looked at me like I was, had a mental illness, but I can't help it. This stuff is fascinating to me. And to me, these are like artifacts. These are artifacts of women's lives. Somebody made this. Somebody made that absolutely fabulous mod suit, and she loved it, and she felt great in it. And somebody made this dress while she was pregnant, and she felt beautiful, and it was her way of expressing herself and showing her creativity, and she may not have any other way to do it. She might have been very stifled. Maybe her life was just cooking, cleaning, and taking care of kids. But when she got to sit down at her sewing machine, she got to release all this creative energy she had and all these ideas she had. So to me, these are artifacts of other women's lives. And I love them and I appreciate them. And I'm so happy when I find them. And, yes, I make money off them, but I love the idea that they're not going into a landfill. It's my favorite part of this job is knowing that they don't go into a landfill. And as for my other job, I'm very happy to announce that I got a raise. And so this spring, I'm going to start house hunting. So the cheap hussy might be buying a cheap house. So anyway, I will answer all your comments the best I can. Like, subscribe, leave more comments, ring the bell, and I will see you guys Tuesday for another Goodwill haul. And have a great day. Thanks. Bye. Thank you.